Welcome to my beginner's guide to the Archer class on pristontale.eu. I've done a few character guides in the past, but I've never done a video guide, so be nice to me. If you're just starting out on pristontale.eu, you should seek out Instructor Annie and follow the quest line she gives you. Keep following the quest line until it tells you to meet the skill master in Recon. Here you will be able to get your first skill. If you're close to level 14, I will probably just carry on killing those monsters and head back at level 14. But you are not here to watch me do all that. Let's switch over to my archer and make our way to the skill master. We'll have a look at the archer skills, and we should have a look at our stats as well. Hello shops. It's quite busy in Recon today. Let's carry on and find the skill master, and we'll look at our skills and our stats. First of all, you should know that skills and stats are quite different on pristontale.eu than any other server. So other character guides you can find online will really not apply here. Stats. Our main stat, which we put most of our stat points in, is agility. This boosts our damage and is the main requirement for our bow. The other requirements are strength and talent. These are the stats you have to put up in order to use your next level bow. As for the other stats, you can ignore health, you shouldn't need it at all. Spirit allows us to wear some jewellery and boosts our mana pool. So this is where you're going to have to choose, and it will very much depend on your playstyle. If you want to do the absolute maximum damage possible, only put up strength and talent to your bow's requirement, and put all remaining stats in agility. This is what's called the pure build, or glass cannon. You will do more damage, but you will have to stay focused as every hit you receive really hurts. So you will have to experiment and see what works for you. You can always change at any time with a visit to the event girl. Pure builds work quite differently on pristontale.eu as well, so it's well worth considering. Moving on to skills. Elemental Shot is your first skill that you get at level 10. Don't put more than 1 point in it, but do use it until you get Bomb Shot. Ignore shooting mastery for the time being, it only becomes useful when you have a decent weapon a bit later in the game. At level 14 you get your first really useful skill, Bomb Shot. This is an area of effect skill or AoE skill. If you're in a party with a tank, then great, you can just stand on the sideline and shoot towards any group monsters. If you're playing solo, you will have to run around kiting and group up the monsters to be most effective. You could put a few points in here and use the event guild later on to reset your skills for a fee. You get 5 free resets a month, but they only get credited to your character at the beginning of the month. So if you have just started out, then you will have to pay a fee until next month. The fee isn't very much to start with, but it does go up as you level up. Ignore Scout Hawk. Moving on to tier 2. At level 20 you get Wind Arrow, one of your main single target skills, the other one being Perfect Aim, which you get at level 40. I will go into a bit more detail on these two later on. For now we can leave it at rank 1 as you will mainly be using Bomb Shot still. Level 23, Leon's Eye. This is a skill that would normally not be useful until end game, and mainly for PvP. With the upcoming PvP updates at pristontale.eu, it may be worth having earlier on if you really enjoy PvP. Basically you only need more attack rating when you notice yourself missing a lot. AoE skills don't miss and you shouldn't need it for any PvE content. Level 26, Falcon. Just put 1 point in here, but do use it until you get Golden Falcon at level 43. Level 30, Arrow of Rage. This is a good skill to use and will replace Bomb Shot from now on. Do put any spare skill points you have in here. Tier 3, level 40, Perfect Aim. This is our other single target skill. Just put 1 point in it for now, and we will come back to this at the end of this guide. Level 43, Golden Falcon. A very important skill to have. Put as many points as you can into this. You want to get it to rank 10 as soon as possible. The Falcon does a lot of damage roughly every 5 seconds on a single target. Practice switching between targets to make the most use out of it. There is no point in launching your Falcon at a target that is almost dead. Very good to use on the tank monsters that have a lot of HP. So we have a group of monsters that target the tank with your AoE skills. That way you are doing damage to all, and the Falcon is doing extra damage to the tank monster. And it provides you a very large HP regeneration. Level 46, Evasion Mastery. Just put 1 point in here. You can put more skill points in it later, when you have nothing else to use them for. Level 50, Perforation. This is your next AoE skill and will replace Arrow of Rage soon. I found it was better to stick with Arrow of Rage rank 10 until you can dump a few points into Perforation. Tier 4, level 60, Phoenix Shot. Another AoE skill. Most people either go with Perforation as their AoE skill or Phoenix Shot. The choice is yours, see what works for you. Phoenix Shot does burn damage, which can be quite useful even at rank 1, as it slowly eats away at the monster's HP. If you do decide to go with Phoenix Shot, it is important to remember it does much more damage when charged. Put it on your right mouse button and right click and hold on the monster. This will charge the shot and when fully charged fire at your targets. Level 63, Force of Nature. This is your one and only party buff. If you mainly play in parties, definitely get this ranked up to 10 as soon as possible. If you are more of a solo player, you may want to put 1 point into your next skill at level 66, depending on your playstyle, and then rank up Force of Nature to rank 10. Level 66, Wolverine. Your very own little pet. It actually turns into quite a formidable beast if you get it to rank 10. However, if you decide to go down the AoE route, it is completely useless to you, as it will make kiting much more difficult. The only thing where it has some use is with bosses, but at rank 1 it will not be able to take many hits. If you prefer single target damage, then it is quite useful to rank up after Force of Nature. More on that at the end of this guide. Level 70, Avalanche. High damage single target skill, but quite expensive on stamina and mana to use. Also, it locks you down while you are using it, so do be careful. I'm level 92 now, and so far I've not had any use for it. But I'm about to do some experimenting with my build to see if I can squeeze some more damage out of it. That covers all the skills. Let's have a quick look over playstyles. I can't remember exactly at what level I switched over from AoE to single target. It was around level 50 to 60. I found it worked much better for me and was more enjoyable than running around kiting all day. If played well and your skills are timed well, it can do just as much damage as an AoE build, possibly even more. So a quick overview is required. AoE build, you will use Arrow of Rage to start with, and switch to either Perforation or Phoenix Shot later on. And will use Wind Arrow, a perfect aim for your boss kills. Single target builds, you'll be using either Wind Arrow or Perfect Aim, or even both if you have enough skill points. Let's have a more detailed look into these two skills. Wind Arrow does 30% more damage to normal monsters, and Perfect Aim does 30% more damage to demon monsters. When you are targeting a monster, there is a little icon next to their level which shows you if the monster is a normal or a demon, or one of the other types. Switching skills depending on the monster you are fighting, you can do more damage. This can be particularly useful if your current leveling map has, for example, a normal or demon tank monster or demi-boss, allowing you to quickly finish them off, which will greatly increase your experience gain. A few more general tips. Pressing Q will bring up a list of all the available quests at your level. Very handy if you are wondering where you should be headed next. You can also cancel your current quest by right-clicking on the little Q icon at the top left of your screen. You can assign shortcuts to your skills so you can quickly switch between them. Just hold left or right, click on the desired skill and press one of the function menus. Your left or right click will determine if it comes up on your left or right skill button when you use the function key. Aging and mixing at lower levels. It is not worth aging, just put the best mix you can afford, focusing on critical. more crit the better. At level 70 plus you can consider aging, but it's a very expensive pastime. A lot of players don't age until they've reached level 100. I think that just about sums it all up. I hope you enjoy yourself playing pristontale.eu. Do leave a comment below if this guide has helped you or you have some tips to share yourself. And remember, if your current build is not working for you, then switch it around. Visit the event girl and try something different. If it really still isn't working for you, then perhaps Archer is not the class for you. But not to worry, there are plenty of other classes to choose from. Have fun, and I will see you in game.